Hey, 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 everybody. Yes, indeed. You guys are in for a treat. It is Thursday night, and we are indeed in the place to be. Vault Talks Women Share is here. How y'all doing? Lady Liz, each of the influencer was good.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, hey.
Y'all so hype, I'm sleepy.
Look, it's Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday somewhere, but it's indeed Thursday, and we are thirsty to be here with all of y'all. How about that? We're excited. We are super elated that we're back. Last week was just one of those weeks where we all wanted to be here. However, man, life happened. So we took just a week break, but we're back. We're vibrant. We're excited. We're here. We have the Coaches Huddle on tonight, talking about the mindset of thriving versus surviving. It's going to go down. Before it goes down, for those of you who may be new to our platform, thank you so much. There's so many things you guys can be doing on the Thursday night or whenever you're catching this replay. Vault Talk Women Share is indeed a platform where we come together to learn more and share more about matters which pertain to our world. So it's indeed on this platform where we're going to talk about fashion, love, relationships, entrepreneurships, but of course, ways to be empowered as women. So before I go forward, Lady Liz, what's going on in your world besides this? You got to sing a song challenge for the world.
Yeah, kind of pushing myself. That's that mindset right there.
Uh-oh.
Where I'm pushing myself to get outside of my comfort zone. Since I can't be on a stage, I might as well be at home singing for y'all. And he should definitely just ask me if it was going to be live and whatnot. I was like, no.
What's the point of doing it if it's not going to be live? I'm just saying.
I'm still pushing. I'm still working on that. Okay. So we definitely, it's a work in progress. Let me put out a video, and then the very finale one, maybe I'll make that live, because I can't see how I'm gonna make that work out. Because your boy Tim threw me a doozy. Okay. So I have to figure that out. Definitely got to figure that one out. I'm like, okay. All right.
What did he pick, please?
He chose WAP by Cardi B.
Oh, no, he did.
Yes, you need to walk him upside his head virtually.
Yeah. So I'm up here like, I'm gonna do this. I don't even know these words, but I'm gonna figure it out. So maybe I might make that one live, because y'all gonna hear me fumbling through that one like, But we're gonna work it out. I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna meet up with some musician friends. I might record that one for real, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
That one, I'm just gonna have to have fun and just let loose and let that other Liz come on out.
Oh, they ain't ready. They're not ready for the other Liz. They're not ready for the other Liz.
No one really knows that other Liz, but
right.
So.
Well, it's exciting to see you actually step out of your comfort zone, do some new things. And, I don't know about y'all when I say y'all, Isha and Liz, but also our audience that's watching us either live or on the replay. Just, man, what has stretched you this year? What is something that you said, I will never do this, and you're finding yourself doing that just because of the year that has been presented before us? So, this has definitely been a year of vision. However, it's been a way for us to really learn how to shift our vision, to really get realigned to who we really are and what we've been created to be. So it's like, let's go. Let's just have fun being uniquely you. So it's really exciting to see y'all evolve and grow. Not just Lady Liz and Isha the influencer, but all of you guys who are out here watching. There's an area that you've grown in this year, and sometimes we move so quickly through life that we really don't sit down with ourselves to really give ourselves that credit to see how we really evolved in different areas of life. So with that being said, Aisha the influencer, or Tina, what's going on with you tonight?
I done got Tina, Whitney,
We doing it big.
Right. Shake a tail feather for us. Come on.
I had to switch it up for the fall, just trying something different. But I'm just trying to stay awake right now. I'm tired. I've been working a lot more. One thing I am excited about is actually being compensated for my creations. Actually, that's a big thing for me. That's what I always do, and that's a really good feeling. It's just, having somebody believe in what you do enough to say, hey, I want to pay you for what you create. So
yeah,
I'm excited about that.
absolutely. Absolutely. I can definitely concur with that. I got a word. It was a corporate word, but then it was also a personal word. This amazing prophet that I know literally told me to get back up and try it again. And I was like, which area is she talking about?
You know.
Oh my God, hold on. You talking about that one or that one or that one or all of them? Which one? And I've literally combined my consulting and publishing business within the past couple of weeks. And the load has been lighter since I've been obedient to literally just colliding the two together and just seeing the vision pop off from that. So, go back and try it again. Somebody needs to hear that. Go back and try it again. It's November, but we still have time to get these goals accomplished. Go back and try it again. Go back to the journal where you first wrote it down. Have that 30-minute of meditation time and go back to the journal again and pick it back up. And then this time actually run and watch God work and literally send you the people and the resources to come beside you to continue to build this thing. And so, needless to say, I've been super busy with just publishing and consulting. And I'm like, people coming out of, oh, I found you here and I found you there. And I'm like, well, I didn't even know I was here nor there. So, what? Where? And so it's amazing to literally just trust your gifts. And someone needs to hear that tonight. I'm feeling it really strong. Trust your gifts. Trust who you've been created to be.
Yep.
Don't allow the words of people to literally push you down to a place that you can't find your way to get back up. There's something in this season that we're in just called November alone, or Govember, as I've heard it as well, or November, like the November, as I've heard it. Just literally telling yourself, no to this, no to that. I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to go this direction. What I laid aside back in October, I'm picking it back up this month. And just really having that courage, that boldness to really say, you know what? Dusting myself off. Let me try this again. Okay, let me touch this mind of mine and let it be in alignment with these things that I got going on. Let me go back to this vision board that I did all the way in December of 2019, focusing on 2020. Let me go back to the journal and wipe that off again. Let me go back to the notes on the phone. Let me go back. And the power in going back to be able to really shove you and push you to go forward. So really excited. My boy Marcus. Hey, whoop, whoop. Hey, if you guys missed 2 weeks ago when we did He Said, She Said, They Share, you gotta catch it on YouTube or either on our Facebook page. Norman, I gave you a new name. Marcus Norman and Timothy Moore, they smashed it. And of course, the Sisters of Vault Talk, just that whole combination, that energy, that synergy, it was off the chain. You got to go back and watch it. We were talking about the roles of a relationship. It was really deep and dope. So we're excited that Marcus graced us with his amazing dopeness. If y'all are not following the Love Doctor, if y'all are not following the Love
That's Doctor, right. We gave him a whole new name.
a whole new name that week. Gotta go check out the Love Doctor. He is hilarious. He puts some real deal Holyfield things on his page. His podcast is amazing. Please drop the name of your podcast, Marcus. I would love to share that with our audience because what you are doing is simply epic. We love us some you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we're gonna keep this party train going. We're gonna keep it going. And if you don't know, now you know. It is a special time called Quiet It's Quote Time with Aisha, the influencer. Come on and bring it.
All right. So tonight we are talking about mindset and surviving and thriving. And I was going to go a whole nother route and, get into the definitions like you like to do, Takara. But, just when I broke it down and really thought about what it takes to really make that transition, because that's ultimately what you have to do to go from one to the other. So the quote is, change your outlook, change your outcome.
Ooh.
And it's to me, it's just that simple. And I can attest to that because I've lived it. I've experienced that surviving mode and that thriving mode. I feel like I'm in my thriving moments right now. So, I think perspective plays a big part in what it is that you ultimately see. The way you look at things is, whatever you see is what you see. Your outlook. If you think something is negative, it's going to be negative. If you can't find the positive in it, that's what you're going to get. So ultimately, the thing you have to do is really switch your perspective, change that lens of which you look through to see whatever it is that you're facing. And I'm not going to get too far into it before we start the conversation, but the basis is, you change your outlook, you change your outcome. So
Yeah,
what you think about it?
I definitely agree with that. I mean, it takes a lot for you to take that inner journey within yourself to really change the perspective that you actually want out of your life. And it starts with your vision, like who you are, who you see yourself as to be, or who you want to be. It all starts with you. And if you're not ready and you're not in a place where you're open and willing to see or picture that person that you want to be, then you're really not ever going to get there. You're going to stagger along. Those baby steps are going to turn real extra teeny because you're going to feel like every step you take, you're taking multiple steps back. I've experienced that as well, especially when it comes to like career and changing and the fact that, I've changed as a person. Yet I have still some old habits, and you're getting rid of those old habits. It's like, how do you pick up those good habits? How do you pick up those things that's really going to put things to your liking, to the outcome that you want and you crave and you desire? And I think that desire part of it, that burning desire for everything that you want everything that you want and you want to succeed with, that's what's going to be the determining factor of how hard are you going to push. What are you going to do? What are you going to sacrifice? What are you going to just say, enough is enough? I'm going to put my head down and just get it done.
Right.
So I think that has a major aspect to making that transformation, that transitioning. There was one thing when I was, I'm kind of like, I'm that type of person who was kind of in and out of church. I know this is not Church Unplugged, but and I won't go into it now.
We'll bring it back.
There was definitely that defining moment for me when they brought that analogy of transitioning from your cocoon into a caterpillar into a cocoon, and how you're literally transforming into this beautiful butterfly, and you're going through that process, and that process is key. It is a must go through process. You can't become a butterfly without going through that transition on that end. So I think that was a real big defining moment for me to really understand that analogy behind it, and to understand that, we're all ugly ducklings because we haven't gotten to what we wanted to do, or we're not doing the things that we thought we were going to do until we transform into that person where it's like, no matter what's going on, no matter who's in my way, no matter what people say, no matter whatever it may be, you're going to go out there and you set that burning desire and you're going to complete it. So I think, yeah. Go ahead, T. Go ahead, T.
So much to say. Changing your outlook. Let's break that down. Change means that you have to recognize that you need to change. A lot of us talk the game about changing, but not willing to put the action to bringing that change. And understanding that change can be difficult, change can be trying, change can be painful. And really being committed to the process of understanding that there's something on the other side of where you currently stand. And so that's where outlook comes into play. How are you viewing this? And I used to hate, yes, I'm using that word, when someone would be like, oh, the glass is half empty or is the glass half full? That would always mess with my mind. The older that I've come, now I understand that what it really is your perspective. How do you really see this glass? When you can view it from a place of being half full, that allows for you to see it in a positive light, understanding that you're closer to where you really want to be when you can change the way that you see it. When you look at it from that whole, oh, it's half empty, what emotions come up in your mind when you think of emptiness versus even being full? So just being mindful of how we plant ourselves in situations to be able to view the outcome according to our outlook. So that whole outcome, a lot of times we have it in our minds that it's going to look exactly like this. And yeah, there's a lot of times it's not gonna look like that. It's okay. But literally just understanding that your outlook on how you view things is really important and key, and it's yours. I posted something today, and it was one of my 3 a.m. Slap me in my face thoughts. Basically, if you want to changing when you change your life based on how you view things and not how other people view things for you, there's a different energy that takes place. Because now you're doing it for you. You're not doing it to please people. You're not doing it to get an outcome to please people. You're doing it to get an outcome that pleases self. And a lot of times we are not taught what it looks like to please self. We are always in situations to where expectations are placed on us so heavy to where we can't even see self. We can't even see what outlook looks like for self because we're so in a fog of what other people expect from us. And we start believing that. We start seeing what other people see. What we once saw as this, now it's bogged down and we see it as this. And so just really understanding that we have the power to shift our minds to really be in alignment to what we really desire. But it goes back to sitting with yourself and literally saying, what do I desire? No one teaches us these things. No one teaches you the power of self-talk. We're taught that talking to yourself makes you crazy, but it doesn't. That ain't it. It literally allows for you to understand yourself even the more when you can sit down in a quiet place and deal with your thoughts, good, bad, ugly. When you can literally sit there, when you can literally welcome yourself and posture yourself in a place to be like, you know what? I don't like this, but you know what? It's time for me to do something about this. It's time for me to change this because this outcome that I'm getting, I'm not liking.
Right.
And the only person who can change this is me. And so just understanding the power of self-talk, like I talk to myself all the time. Yeah, I do. I don't care, in the car, in the shower, brushing my hair, brushing my teeth. I have those conversations because I literally need to continue to check myself. There's nothing wrong with self-checks. Self-checks, wellness checks are healthy for us to really continue to be on this path to really encompass our outlook to get to our outcome.
That's true.
The thing about that is you're with yourself 24/7.
Yeah.
So you cannot.
Some people try to escape that though.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll try
I
our
know
best.
plenty of people trying to escape that right now during COVID. But I think
Exactly. So why not like take that time out to work on you? You are with, like I said, with yourself all the time. And even when you surround yourself with other people, you still have to deal with you. And then you have to deal with how they deal with you, how they perceive,
Woo.
how you interact with
say
them.
that again.
So I mean, it's a lot, and it'll make it a whole lot easier for you to address the things that need to be addressed within yourself, especially before you go out into the world and interact with other people. But both of you guys said uh, two things, which is process. And that is something that a lot of us, some of the time, think we can skip. We
Come
don't really
on.
go through it. We'd rather bypass it. But life will teach you that the process is mandatory, it's necessary. There's no way around it at all. And the
No.
more you try to get around it, the more you'll find yourself in that same position. Like, it's just like you're spinning your wheels, you're going in circles. You're not going to get anywhere by avoiding the process. And until you go through it, you won't get to that other side. Y'all talked about your desired outcomes. You will never reach that point unless you go through. You know what
Man.
I mean? And a lot of times we have to be broken down in order to be in a position to receive whatever it is that we desire. We're not the way we are now, we're not built for it.
Yeah.
So in order to rebuild, you have to break it down. And we
That's
don't
right.
want to be broken, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But we can't avoid the process. So when you find yourself in that state, you'll stay there a lot longer if you don't realize that, okay, I have to go through this in order to get here. We hear this all the time. It's like God is preparing you for what you ask for. We don't comprehend that in the process, because it's just like, why is this happening to me? And it's happening for you. And we just don't. But it's like we're talking about, it's all about perspective.
Yeah.
And the analogy you used about the cup, I think that coincides with what we're talking about with surviving and thriving. The half empty perspective is that survival mode. Because
Yeah.
if you're half empty, you're depleting. You're
Yeah.
trying to hold on to what you have
Yeah.
left. But if you look at it as half full, you're creating, you're adding more, you're looking forward to adding more to what you already have.
Yeah.
So I think that was perfect for what we're discussing. It's just like, that's a really good way to look at that analogy. I know sometimes when you hear it, it doesn't make sense. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is stupid. I don't, what do you mean? Like, it's just a cup, water, whatever. So,
Woo-wee.
and people feel like they're forced to say half full because they
Yeah.
want to sound positive. But if you really didn't think about that when you looked at that cup, then you have to really, assess your thought process. Like, what is it, that your energy is aligned to? Like, what are you thinking? What are you going through right now? Because, I mean, let's face it, we're not all looking at half full cups, especially not all the time in every season of our life and the things that we go through. So, I think that analogy was perfect for what we're talking about.
Well, hallelujah to the Spirit. I tell you, the Spirit will lead you and guide you all the time.
Lord.
Hallelujah. Glory.
You know what song popped up in my head? Hey, Viola. But oh my God, you know what song that popped up in my head as you guys were speaking? Y'all remember Sister Act 2? When they immediately go, you better, what does it go? You better wake somebody. You better go somewhere. You better wake up and pay attention.
Hey.
And that's so true. You need to just wake up. Sometimes you sleep too long.
Right.
I can't tell y'all, when I figured out what sleep was when living in New York and then living in Louisiana, yeah, I was asleep all the time. At least the Louisianans. I was asleep all the time, apparently. But I was just catching up. And then all of a sudden you wake up and it's just like, oh, it's a brand new day. Let's go. We chipper than ever. And we're just moving. And you're out there and you're socializing, you're being around people. And that's what brings you life. That's
Come
what
on.
brings you out there. And it's just like, where have I been all this time?
What have I been doing? And I had this conversation with someone the other day. They was just like, they were asking me, are you from Chicago? Or are you from here? I'm like, no, I'm from here. And I was just comparing the difference. It's a lot slower down south than it is up north or in the bigger cities. And you have to be aware, everything is moving quickly. People will just, the thing is totally different. It's a different culture. So I've had to re-assimilate, especially when I came back down south. The traffic killed me. Because I know the traffic is heavy in the bigger cities, but we going fast. Like we on the highway and we moving. Here it's just like we got all these big trucks and they driving slow. So it's not, it's the difference. You definitely have to be more aware and more awake, and you do feel more alive. It's just a big difference.
That's true. Viola, the one and only.
Hey, bye.
The holistically YouTube queen.
Yes.
On the platform. Yes.
What? Now this is perfect because honestly, like it's always a godsend thing because we've been talking about mindset for this whole entire week. Whole entire week. And I love the example of the cup. I use that all the time, but I want to give people a different analogy on that. I want you to imagine a jar, right? And you got these big old rocks, right? All of these big old huge rocks. They got emptiness in there. They got self-sabotaging in there, right? You got pity party in there. You got other people's opinions in there.
Come on.
That are put in this jar, and they're all mixed together, right? And now you're trying to fit your gifts in there. Now you try to fit your confidence in there. Now you're trying to fit everything that God has called and created you to be up in there. There's not a lot of space for all of that, right? So what people have to understand is that you got to start getting all of that garbage, all of those things out of your mindset, and really start to prune all of those things away. Because if you don't, then you're not going to really have the life that you want to mentally. You're not really going to be happy the way you want to. You're not really going to be in a great relationship like you want to. Have great health if you want to, because at the end of the day, it's a choice.
Right.
Yep.
It's a choice whether or not you want to be happy, you want to be satisfied, you want to be healthy, you want to be all of those things. It's a choice.
Amen.
And so you got to understand that those rocks, they take up a lot of space. They take up a lot of energy in your life. So you got to be able to detoxify yourself from either people. Sometimes you got to detoxify yourself. Okay.
From yourself.
That's good.
That you listen to, the people that you hang around. So it's very important that you work on this. One of the things that I do, I listen to something every night, because if you can retrain something, we got to unlearn so that we can relearn. And how you unlearn so relearn is by training your subconscious mindset. Your subconscious never sleeps. So what a lot of people are missing out on is listening to something positive when they go to sleep. Because what that does is that seeps into your subconscious mindset. So now you're starting to get all of those gunk up out of there. Now it's going to take some time, depending on how much junk you've been putting in your body, how much junk you've been, putting in your brain. But at the end of the day, you can still unlearn to relearn.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I want people to actually do that. Like try it out for a week, because there's a big difference in how you feel, how the sleep that you actually end up getting, how restful you feel in the morning, how lifted, and you don't need an alarm clock to wake you up. I think that's a challenge that we should definitely put out there for people to do. And we're going to do it as, I'm going to do it. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I think we should all do it and collectively come back and say how our week was from it. Like what has changed, what has boosted, like what kind of energy did you receive from it, because you'll notice the change. And I think for me, it used to be, I used to listen to the Bible at night and then wait. And then all of a sudden I never needed an alarm clock. I always woke up extra early with time on my hands to now I can meditate. Now I can, take the time out that I need for myself to now dig in and really, really start to grab onto like, oh, this is what I need in the morning. This is what's going to encourage me. This is what's going to build my confidence to do X, Y, and Z going towards the future, going towards that day and accomplishing and like demolishing the day and feeling like, oh, that was very successful. So it's really, I agree.
Yeah. Vi, that analogy was really good because, like you said, they can't dwell, they can't coincide or coexist together. The positive and the negative, you can't have dark and light at the same time. So you really have to get rid of those things in order for the positive things to really dwell and take their place, and then for you to actually reap the benefits of that, because we operate out of those negative subconscious things that we have. We operate and then we attract the same thing. So if we do the work to go ahead and replace that negativity with those positive thoughts and those affirmations, like Liz was saying, you'll definitely see that change, and you'll begin to attract the things that you want versus the things that you don't want. So yeah, that analogy was really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't happen overnight, so people understand that it's work for you to be the best version of it. It takes work.
Yeah.
Not an overnight thing. It's not an over the counter thing. You really have to put in the work in order to, feel the way that you want to feel, and really on, on that right path of, positive mental thinking. And, just to give as an example, I listened to a video, and her Dr. Denise, don't quote me on that, but she is the brain, not a brain surgeon, but she studies the brain.
Neuro.
And basically talking about the power of your thinking. And she described look like whenever neurons start going off the brain. And she said that we were not built and made to have negative thinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those neurons and stuff go off in your mind. She said, I mean, we get thoughts every single second, and she said that whenever I was doing this study, sorry y'all, hey, go, whenever she, that oh my gosh, y'all, I'm sorry.
Hey, bud.
Oh my,
he's so cute.
Yeah. Adorable.
bye, and then bye. Bye. Okay, bye. Go in there. Go. So, she's doing the study, and she says that there's no way that people can have and stay on that negative thinking. She said that it's a choice for people to stay there. And so people have had 20 years of just thinking of that negative thinking. And so really, truly, it takes 21 days to change something, right? So it takes 20 days plus for you to be able to change your thinking, but every single day you have to work on it. So every day you need to start saying affirmations to yourself. Every day, if you give a negative thought, you have to down immediately, right? Because that's what God did His word, right? Anything that you get that's negative in your mindset, cast it down immediately. That's nothing but the enemy trying to creep in. So if you know that God is love, right, and you are love and you are of God, then there's no way your negative thinking comes from Him.
Come on. That's good.
Get those negative in your mind, then you already know it's nothing but the enemy trying to sabotage you, to try to get you thinking like, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not worthy enough to do a thing. But that's the enemy. That's the enemy talking. So cast it down immediately. Say, in the name of Jesus, no, my God said that I am prosperous. My God said that I am fearfully and wonderfully made in His image. So once you start catching those things and casting them out, then now you're going to start to recognize the enemy's tricks. And that's one of the things that we don't do. We don't sit and we don't recognize, because we feel like the person that's next to us is the enemy. Oh, feel like the person that's next to us is our enemy. They are not. Our loved ones are not our enemy. Our friends, our frenemies are not even our enemies.
Come
that's
on.
enemy.
Yeah.
Right? And so once you start catching those things, now you can start casting them out. That's why prayer is so important. So important.
This is good, because what you're saying is really in alignment with the question that we have scrolling here, talking about, can surviving be comfortable? And so let's take it to that whole negative thinking. Have you ever been around somebody that is super negative and they don't even realize that they're negative?
Mm-hmm.
They've been around somebody where their energy is so negative and they don't even realize their energy is negative. Their actions are negative. Their words are negative. Their walk is negative. Like they have no idea on how negative they are. And so it's interesting how somebody can literally be comfortable with that. And I think that happens for a couple different reasons. One, there's no true accountability in people's lives at times to be like, sis, come here and let's chat. You know, when you said da 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 da, it sounded really horrible. you know, sounded really bad. Sounded like you need to do some work, sis. Have these conversations with people to help them to even shift from being so comfortable in this surviving mindset. Because being a negative person can easily be contributed to someone who has a survival mindset because they don't see the opportunity to be anything else but in this surviving place. Maybe they've had spurts of thriving, but like you said, people have to do the work, and that's a choice. When I'm coaching my clients, I say, okay, this is what you want to do. All right, let's go. Well, what do you mean? Well, I can't do the work for you. Heck, I got my own stuff that I'm still dealing with. Coach or not. Let's talk about that. This is indeed the Coaches Huddle. Coaches go through just as much as other people do. But people see, oh, well, you're a coach. That doesn't mean my life is perfect. That doesn't mean that I have to fight and really check this mind all the time. Am I surviving? Am I thriving? Or am I somewhere working the middle?
We just learn how to realize it a lot of other people.
Right. So can surviving become comfortable? Absolutely. Positively. How do we shift that? Because this platform is all about solutions. It starts with you. It starts with realizing that you deserve more than where you're currently at. And being uncomfortable is a really good thing. A lot of people don't want to go through it because they're so used to their dysfunction. They're used to the fact, well, at least 1 + 1 don't equal 2. It might take me a minute for it to get to equaling 2, but guess what? I'm comfortable with my timing to get to where I need to go.
Yep.
And so that's the thing with this whole mindset. And I'm going to say this because I think that it's valid for us to talk about. This year has been a year to teach people how to shift their minds very quickly. Very quickly, because no one saw. Well, there's one person who saw, but everybody else didn't see what we're going through right now. So literally teaching yourself how to talk to yourself, how to deal with this mind, because the mind is indeed a battlefield. We make tons and tons and tons of decisions daily, in minutes, hours. So how can you be so comfortable in your dysfunction when you know deep down inside? Because here's the thing, deep down inside that you don't want to be like this. Yet you're comfortable because you're scared of the unknown.
Because it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Or you're looking at somebody else's walk and how they had to shake their hands loose and wiggle out of things. And you're like, oh, I'm good. This is where I exit stage left. I gotta go through what they went through to get to where they're at. You know what? I'm comfortable in my dysfunction. At least I know I can make it. At least I know I can survive. At least I know my head is over water. Sometimes it sinks. It's below water most of the time, but I pop up like that bobber when you fishing for out there, So I might bobble a little bit, but guess what? I'm comfortable. And if you're a believer of the Most High, God didn't create for us to be comfortable.
Nope.
The whole process of us coming here is uncomfortable. Birthing a child.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I know you don't know that. But
Ooh, that was
yeah,
definitely
just
uncomfortable.
bringing life into this world is uncomfortable, and then it doesn't stop there. But we get into a certain place or a certain phase or stage, and it feels good, and we like it, and it's okay. And in order to, but we have to continue to grow. That's where
Yeah.
the term "growing pains" come
Come
from. It's
on.
uncomfortable. It's going to hurt, and a lot of times, like I said, people say it's hard. Well, so is being where you are continuously. So you have to choose your heart.
Yeah.
Like choose what heart you want to go with, because you
Woo-wee.
have to make a choice. Either
That's
way is
right.
hard. And I know this is not our holistic, you know, segment, but coming back to health and wellness when it comes to being fit and working out, oh, it's hard. I don't want to do it. But like you were saying, Takara, nobody can do it for you. Me working out is not going to benefit you at all.
Although
So
I wish it did.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Wish it did.
Can we throw up holy hands for those that are in the back?
I mean, I wish it did too. If people can pay me to work out for you, then I would gladly do it. But that's a decision that you have to make. You have to choose your heart. It's hard, being out of shape. It's hard, having to buy bigger clothes or, whatever. It's hard adjusting to your current situation regardless. So you just
Yeah.
have to choose your heart. Like, and if what you're going through now is not going to get you to where you desire to be, then the choice is made.
That's true.
So you just have to get started and get going.
Yeah.
But I'm coming to know that more and more these days. It's just like you said, every day we make a lot of decisions. It's all about a choice. Your choices, the things that you chooses your future. Like it creates your future. It's your outcome. So your future doesn't exist. The past doesn't exist. The present is the only thing that you have. And
Come
what you
on.
choose to do today determines what you'll get tomorrow. So if you want your future to look a certain way, you have to focus on what today holds. What choice do I make today? What am I going to do today in order to, set myself up for the things that I want? So
Absolutely.
really taking that and holding on to that and knowing that every day and being present and choosing the right things to do. I can choose to sleep all day, or I can choose to get up and do something towards my goals, or to complete this project, or whatever. The choice is yours. It's
Amen.
choice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Definitely making those choices into being small little action steps into the bigger picture. Because I think back in the days, I used to get so over, I got to do this, I got to do that. It's such a big task that if you really just honestly break them down into little pieces, you can get it done every day. Every couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there, and it doesn't have to be all at once. And I think that was the biggest struggle, internal struggle. I'm thinking, oh, I got to do it all right now, ASAP, and it has to be perfect when it's done. No, break it down into those teeny little steps, and whether it's 5 minutes for that, every hour, 5 minutes that you dedicate that time to, you'd be surprised at what you're actually able to get done for the day. And then
Oh,
you
yeah.
feel much better, because then everything within you feel good. It starts to marinate in you, and you get excited like, I'm almost there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When
And
you
so
start
this
seeing
is
progress, yeah.
and this is a great segue into the question that we have scrolling down here. Just talking about what are some skills, traits, practices can someone implement to ensure a thriving mindset? Oh, that's good. So what are some things that can be implemented to thrive in life?
One thing that what you were just saying that I was going to comment on is when you said, I got to do all these things. If you change that language to I get to do all these things instead of something that I got to do or something that I have to do, and just say, okay, I get to go to work today and make some money. You know what I mean? Not I have to go to work, or, it's just like the language and the mindset that you put towards certain things. That's half the battle right there. It's just like the way you think about certain things. If you take that negative connotation off of the things that you have to get done, it'll make it that much easier to do it. So, and I've applied this, so I know that it works. Going to work every day, 7 days straight, And it's just like, oh, if I get like, oh, I have to go to work today, I have to go, like, that's going to get old. And then when I get there, it's going to make it even harder for me to be there because I'm already in this negative mindset. And I know people are going to come in, and do and say something stupid. So why not go in and, with a positive mindset already? All right, I get to go to work today. I get to make some money. I get to pay my bills, that type of thing. And that will definitely help you shift your mindset to, okay, I'm creating, instead of I'm depleting myself, I'm tired, I don't want to go, and do these things. Like, it's just going to be that much of a burden on you to have to do what you need to do. These are things that you have to do in order to get to where you need to be. So why not, pump yourself up and try to enjoy doing what's have to be done. So definitely kind of shifting, and that's all we're talking about, is like shifting that perspective when it comes to certain things. You have to think of things more positively in order to create a better outcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Viola.
Oh no, I was saying I agree with that's one of the things we'll have to change right away, is just changing the words that come out of your mouth. Because a lot of people don't understand life and death lies in the power of the tongue. So they eat the fruit there. So when you're speaking, I'm tired. When you're speaking, this is not enough. You're speaking anything negative that comes out of your mouth. Well, those are the words that you're going to eat. Words that you're going to eat every single day, every time they come out of your mouth. So if you shift mindset and you shift the perspective on being grateful, for what you do have, then other opportunities, will start to present themselves.
Absolutely.
So one of the skills, that you can do after that is really meditate, meditating and creating a list for you, because, do get scatterbrained. There's so much to do, especially when you have a family, like I have so much stuff I have to do. Yeah, the children, make sure my husband, make sure, my household is good, make sure people are getting fed. So there's so many that we have to do, let alone get the laundry and the kitchen clean, right? So if you just make a checklist and just say, okay, you know what? On this day, I'm going to do the laundry. Unload, and I'm going to wash it, dry it, load it, and put it up. But in the meantime, I'm going to be working on this. So if you create that check for yourself, and don't overwhelm yourself, today. So if you write down, okay, I'm going to take care of this, you got to have a win mentality. Okay. What it's like, what is it? What is important now? I believe that's what it is. What's now? That win mentality, and you write down important things. Go ahead and have that wrote down the night before, so that when you get up, you already have prepared your subconscious for the day. So if you have to go to work, you don't get off till 5 o'clock or something like that, well, maybe you need a meal prep, especially if you don't like cooking at home. So if you prepare a couple of days in advance, then when you come home, now it's easy selling. So what's important now is what you do, and that's by creating a checklist.
That's good. I think one of the really important things about positioning yourself to thrive is, again, just to do a self-check and see what areas of your life need some further development. And for me, I love YouTube University. I'll go and listen to a sermon. I'll go listen to some tips from videos, just something around personal development to continue to exercise these muscles that sometimes get comfortable in life, to where you go back to pick up that 10-pound weight you used to be able to do 13 reps easy, and you struggling at 7. So, and real life story too. But
Okay, girl.
The numbers might be a little skewed, but it's a little something up through there. But I'm working on it. It's progress. But no, seriously, being able to just to have those conversations with yourself, to say, okay, what can I do in terms of personal development for me today? Maybe it's a 30-minute sermon, or maybe it's 30 minutes of reading a book. Like 2 weeks ago, I started reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I couldn't put it down.
It's so good.
It's so good. And then I'm gonna be honest, I kind of got mad. I'm like, why nobody taught me this earlier?
Exactly.
Why I had to struggle with like all this right here? Like I could, come on, somebody could have taught a sister something.
They didn't know. They didn't know.
But they didn't know. Yeah, I know. And it's just okay, even just wrapping your mind around that and being okay with some of the things that we didn't know growing up, and now here we are as adults. But also to position yourself to want to thrive. We talk about surviving a lot, right? Some people that they're not meant to thrive, and that's okay. But for those of us that are meant to thrive, that means that we have to change our mindset around what we define thriving as, and then start moving towards that direction of literally implementing things in our lives to thrive. Like for me, one of the things that I have in my bedroom. Now, I believe it's just because that's one of the places where I spend a lot of time, other than my office and my home. But when I wake up, it's right in front of me on a big sticky piece of paper of Takara Nicole is in 24 I am statements. My vision board serves as my headboard in my room.
That's a great place to have it.
It's a reminder, and I'm gonna let y'all into my world. I haven't done a new vision board since 2018 because some of the things that are still on there haven't come to pass yet. But I'm in the progress of having these things happen, so my vision board is still valid. So being able to literally just starting personal development and seeing what that looks like, or having somebody keep you accountable. Hey, I promised myself that I was going to do this today. Can you hold me accountable to that? Do you mind holding me? Do you mind, ready for this? Do you mind holding space for me? Do you mind?
That's right.
And people who love you, they're going to be like, okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a powerful one. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
These comments.
I'll play the devil's advocate here a little bit, because I feel like everything was made to thrive.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
People get in this, like you said, comfortable mentality to where they get lazy and get some bumps and roads along the way, and they give up. There's a lot of people that have given up on themselves, and they know how to get back to, dreaming again, how to get back to being able to thrive. And that's why it's important that us as coaches, really help people to, revive them, really.
Yeah.
Because walking around dead at 25, but they don't die until they're 60. So they're walking around with their heads hung low, like, this is it for me. Like, I'm just going to go to work or go to school and take care of the household, and then I'm going to die. But that's not the life that you have to live. That's a choice that you are choosing to live. But there are so many different, people and opportunities out there to help somebody thrive. But a lot of people, they don't want to. They don't want to work that muscle. They're not willing to. And that's the part that's sad. That's the part that keeps stuck. But I feel like everybody is made to thrive.
Okay, so you said something, and I'm going to challenge you on this. Do you really believe that it's laziness, or it's a lack of belief and confidence because I've tried it, it didn't work, or I tried it and I had these voices in my head of negative people who literally have kept me from really picking up the torch and running again? So is it really laziness all the time, or do we use words to describe where we are, but that's not the word we really meant to use, describing our situations?
Well, I feel like a mixture of both, because there are people who are just lazy. They just don't want to do it, and they're just not willing to put in the work. You know what I mean? And what other word is there? That's laziness, right? If you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not willing to change the environment you're in because you don't like where you're at right now, then it's either a lack of motivation, you don't want to do the work, which is called laziness, right? It's just a lack of motivation, period. Or maybe you're lost, maybe you don't know how.
That's what I was waiting for, because sometimes I think we say that people are lazy, but I just think it's a lack of knowledge combined with laziness. So it's a lack of knowledge. How do I even get in the game of getting to the place where I can see that I desire to get to, but I think sometimes it's excuses as well. So I think it's a mountain hill of things that literally stop people from literally thriving in life, right? So if you think about a mountain, if you think about a pile of food, right? You're gonna get full if you try to eat the whole thing all at one time, right? So I think sometimes people overthink the process of shifting from surviving to thriving and think that it happens overnight. They overexhaust themselves, then they stop. They start again, they overexhaust themselves, and then they stop. They start again, they overexhaust themselves, and they stop. So I think sometimes it's not so much laziness can be a component. Absolutely. Lack of motivation can be a component. Failure can be a component.
Yeah, major.
The fact that I failed this many times, let me be comfortable in this place where I fail, because at least ... gets done. At the very least, ... gets done. And I don't have to position myself to expect failure again, because this is all that I'm used to.
Right.
But the thing is, you have to kind of expect failure when you are going after something that you've never done before.
Right.
Say that again, though. Say that again.
You have to expect failure when you're going after something that you've never done before, because you've never done it.
Right.
So, allow yourself to just get comfortable with the idea of, okay, it might not work. A lot of people let that debilitate them and they don't do it at all. But the fact that you try to do it and you fail, that's an accomplishment. Because a lot of people don't even get to the trying part. So I think there's a connotation connected to failure that a lot of people want to avoid it. Yes. But that's the part what you need to embrace, because you have to fail over and over again in order to succeed. Practice makes perfect. So, and with that, I just want to say that I agree with both of you, but I think that laziness is like a side effect of that mental battle that people go through. I'm not good enough, or what people think or whatnot. It could become a side effect, just like with depression. That's a what they call mental illness. So, they ask you, have you not been doing some of the things that you used to do? Are you sleeping more? And a lot of people do that and they don't realize what it is that they're going through. So of course it's going to come off as laziness, as they don't want to do anything and, that type of thing, but not really understanding the underlying components is that you're battling mentally. Yeah. And the things that you go through really debilitates you. Yeah. And it comes off as laziness and, lack of motivation. And I don't know anybody who doesn't want to be better. Like everybody wants something and they want something more than what they have or more than what they are. It's just the act of going after it or actually doing something about it. It takes a lot, but it starts in the mind. And if your mind is not, where it needs to be in order to carry out the actions that it takes to get where you want to be, then you're not going to do anything. You're not going to get there. So just really, and that's why, we don't put a lot of emphasis on mental health, which we should, but we don't really understand how much being healthy mentally kind of plays a part in the things that we do in our physical lives on a day-to-day. So I think like Viola was saying, everybody was built to thrive. We have it in us. We were made in his image and God is, he's abundant. He created everything and we have the ability to do the same. It's just, will we tap into it? Can we clear out all that, negativity and doubt and, he say, and they don't think I can do it and that type of thing. Once that's cleared away, you're left with yourself, you're left with your gifts, you're left with a choice to operate in it. And then, okay, let me see if I can. If I fail, that's fine. If I tried, the person next to me can't say they fail because they can't say that they tried.
Right.
So, failing is just a part of the process, is a part of the journey. I heard people say fail fast and fail often, so you can eventually get to where you want to be. It's just a part of the process.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely
Oh
agree
my.
with you. You said a
Oh
lot there, Aisha. I think
Ooh.
a part of this was also like a pressure point. You reach a boiling point where you're not satisfied with anything in your world, that nothing is where you thought it could be or where you want it to be. And I think that then that notion of fight or flight really kicks in. Are you going to step up and do what it takes to actually do it? And everything that you said, and all of you ladies, but being able to take that image, take that skill, take that drive, and actually put in the work to do it. Now, not depression is a real mental illness thing. That is, it can turn on like a light switch. Okay, you can turn it on and off, and some people are in denial about it
But they
because
don't recognize it.
they could ever get there.
They don't even realize that that's what it is. You feel the side effects before you know what the diagnosis is, so to speak.
Right.
Like all the time when you're sick, you don't know if it's a cold, if it's a flu, if you got COVID. You never know. You have the side effects, and you're not really sure what it is. So you have the side effects of depression and anxiety and those type of things, and you don't really know until it just clicks, and you kind of assess all the things that you've been going through, and it's just like, okay, now this is what this is. We don't educate ourselves on the mental illnesses that we do go through. They categorize them as illnesses. I don't like using that term when it comes to the things that we battle with mentally, but it's just like we don't recognize what it is, but before we experience the side effects. So that's kind of where that denial comes in, because we're not educated on what it is.
Absolutely. Well, this has been another amazing episode of All Talks Women Share. Thriving versus surviving is indeed a mindset. It's an attitude. It's a posture. It's a decision. So with that being said, let's talk about what we're going to be talking about next week on the show. As you guys know, Thanksgiving falls on a Thursday, and we will not be here live, but we will show one of our best and most favorite episodes that we've had thus far on Thanksgiving night. So don't miss that. So for next week, we have a combination coming to you all. We have our Her Wellness Matters segment, and He Said, She Said, all in one night. Never done before. Super excited. We could not leave y'all hanging without doing a He Said, She Said, They Share, because just as much as y'all love it, it's probably one of our most favorite segments. Next to Church Unplugged, which we'll be bringing back. Church Unplugged will be bringing back as well. Church Unplugged was off the chain as well. It's like just that unconventional talk about church, things that we don't talk about in church, but that need to be talked about the church, not just the building, but what's inside of us as well. So, but He Said, She Said, They Shared next week. We're going to have the Lawrences on. We're super excited about this dynamic, this amazing millennial team united front. And then we're also going to have a dope segment, all that about Her Wellness Matters. We're going to have an amazing dynamic entrepreneur coming to the platform, talking about her latest entrepreneur journey. And then we're going to lead them. They're going to lead us into He Said, They Share, because they are indeed one of the bomb.org married couples. So we are excited. Thank you for tuning in, love. We appreciate you tuning in to another episode of All Talks Women Share. So make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Definitely search for Vault Talks Women Share, and make sure that you are very present on our Facebook page by heading to www.facebook.com/ Vault Talks Women Share. It's not just the show. You might catch articles. You might catch live conversations. You just don't know what you might be missing out on. So with that being said, Coach Viola Hall, the founder of Holistically You Two into his house, dropping the bizoms. We thank you so much for your love, your wisdom, and your energy that you always bring to this platform. We indeed love you so very much. And we out. It's a wrap. Much love. Mwah.
Great.
Peace.